The 2024 New South Wales Architecture Awards are proudly supported by the Australian Institute of Architects National Corporate Partners, Allspec, Bondorma Techno, BlueScope, Brickworks, Dulux, Fielders Lysart, Modex, Architecture Media, Planned Cover, and Image Makers Association, as well as New South Wales chapter partners Autodesk, AWS Architectural Window Systems, Kraus Bricks, Number One Roofing and Building Supplies. For over 40 years, the Australian Institute of Architects has been a pillar for upholding the evolving excellence of our industry. Like the Institute, the passage of time is a testament to stability, yet is always in motion. With each passing year, our profession moves forward, shaping communities, pushing boundaries, and redefining Australia's architectural landscape. Tonight, we capture this moment in time, celebrating the achievements and impact of our members, teams, and projects. Welcome to the 2024 New South Wales Architecture Awards.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the New South Wales Architecture Awards. My name is Dana Tomic Hughes. I am an interior designer and also the founder and editor of Yellow Trace, design and architecture publication and a community that started as a passion project almost 14 years ago. I stand before you with a heart full of gratitude. Thank you to the Institute for this enormous honour of being your host this evening. Although I must admit, I was a little bit shocked they invited an interior designer to host the Architecture Awards. Like, am I even qualified to do this? For a very long time, architecture and design weren't even on my radar, but my life path took me on a very wild journey that's seen me deeply immersed in this world. At first, through design education and practice, and now in a slightly different capacity where my work enables me to glean insights into design and architecture globally. And there are two things I've learned over the years. Number one, very few professions can claim to have the true power to transform how people live, work, and play. Architecture and design can change the way people see and experience the world. My only hope is that we can make it more accessible to a much bigger audience. This way we will all benefit from a healthier and happier society. And the second thing I learned is that Australian architecture is of an exceptionally high global standard. Despite the challenges our industry faces, and the whole world faces in fact, there is truly so much to celebrate. So tonight, we are very much in the right place at the annual celebration of the state's most exceptional architectural achievements, the New South Wales Architecture Awards, an integral event in our industry's calendar. We're thrilled to have you with us for what is sure to be a fantastic evening. You know how wild these things get, right? I would like to extend a special welcome to some of our distinguished guests tonight. The Honourable Paul Scully, Minister of Planning and Public Spaces, the Honourable Scott Farlow, Shadow Minister for Planning and Public Spaces, the Lord Mayor of Sydney, the Honourable Clover Moore AO, Councillor H.Y. William Chan, Councillor Sylvie Ellsmore from the City of Sydney, Kirsten Fishburn, Secretary, Department of Planning, Housing and Infrastructure, Matt Press, Assistant Building Commissioner, and Abby Galvin, New South Wales Government Architect. On behalf of the Institute's New South Wales chapter, I would also like to formally acknowledge our sponsors for tonight's event who have made the awards possible. So thank you to our national partners, Allspec, BlueScope and Colorbond, Brickworks, Dulux, Lysart and Modex, and our New South Wales chapter partners, Architectural Window Systems, Autodesk, Kraus Bricks, and Number One Roofing and Building Supplies, and our photo booth partner tonight, Allegion. Before we formally kick off the proceedings, I would like to welcome Uncle Michael West from the Metropolitan Local Aboriginal Land Council, who will be welcoming us to country. Michael was born, raised, and has lived his whole life in Sydney Aboriginal communities. He's from the Stolen Generations, and we are very honoured and grateful to have him here with us tonight. Thank you, Michael.
I'd like to start by saying Bojadi, Gamarua, Gadagliura and G'day and welcome everyone here. How are you? Looking forward to the awards, no doubt. It was great, everyone downstairs interacting, sharing some yarns, sharing stories and having a good time, but probably you don't want to have a too good a time because you still want a job on Monday. And the social media, yes, can be quite terrible for you. What I was going to say, it's important, and also, I hope you're not, having any medication if you're taking alcohol, please. We don't want to see you on the street swearing later into your phone on your back. We all need a little bit of a laugh in the current situation in the world. We need a bit more love in our hearts, I think. Respecting each other, treating each other with dignity. And, people make mistakes. It's important to understand that. Sometimes we need to reach out and give them a big hug. Yes, we need to do that for a better society. Please don't take too many side shots. I've still got about 10 kilos to lose, thank you. From COVID, we all had a crazy time then, didn't we? It was like... the whole world was locked down and we didn't know what was going to happen. But, we were in our communities. We got to learn, I think, walking around our communities and finding the wonderful places we have. And this is a special place to me because I remember seeing Uncle Archie Roach here several times and being such a special person he was. And others like Emma Donovan and seeing some great performances here. It's a wonderful space. And I always think of these spaces, there's always something left behind in these spaces, part of Electric, part of who they are, their aura and that. I'd like to say it's important we look after our country and caring for country. We need to care for our totems. We have wonderful totems like the whale, which comes in here and rests at Gomera, which is Darling Harbour, with their little calves over many, many millennia. They don't do it these days, but that's what they used to do. And obviously, it's important we respect them because they would have different names up and down the coast in their migration pattern for the different languages. And then also we have Barra, which is out at Parramatta, Barra Marigo, Barra meaning eel, which migrates to the South Pacific, another totem. And we also have a beautiful bird that's come to our city. We haven't cared for the wetlands. They've migrated here, I think around 30 years ago. I didn't see them before, but now they're here in great numbers. And they've got somewhat legs about that big. They got white feathers, black tail feathers, long necks and long beaks. Yes, I'm talking about the sacred ibis. Yes, it's also sacred in Egyptian culture. I was going to say, please don't call me a bin chicken. No, I'm not a bin chicken, I'm a sacred ibis. It's on you humans for not caring for my country and I'm living with you. But I was talking to one of the other elders, Uncle Brendan, the other day. We've been having some yarns about this, that the ibis has been displaced. It's come to live with us and we're sort of blaming it for its situation. And that's sort of a parallel with Aboriginal people when you think about it. We need to have some tough conversations moving forward, but I think as grown-ups we can have those tough conversations. And I know a lot of your organisations do have reconciliation action plans and that. And we need to respect each other and have these tough conversations as we can. It's important we take a moment's silence to pay respects to ancestors, pay respects to Mother Earth, pay respects to all Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander tradition owners, elders and custodians of past and present, looking after culture, spirit to country and community. And I hope when you're designing your spaces that they do incorporate the not only the heritage but the spirit there and the culture there that's been for their 65,000 plus years, but we say since the beginning of time. So if we just have a moment's silence, a moment of paying respects and a moment of reflection, thanks. We have 3 beautiful rivers. We have the Hawkesbury, Nepean and Georges, which are the aquatic boundaries of the Eora Nation. On behalf of Metropolitan Local Aboriginal Land Council, members and elders, welcome everyone here. Congratulations for just being nominated and for those who win. But there's always next year, you need to remember that. And let's, oh, that wasn't supposed to be a joke, I was being honest. Yes, and we're living in very crazy times, aren't we, in the world? I did watch that debate today, scratching my head about it. Very confusing. Yes, but look, we need to build a better world. You guys enjoy your night, have a great time, share stories with your colleagues, and have a safe journey home to your family, loved ones and community. Always was, always will be Aboriginal land, never ceded. Thanks.
Thank you, Uncle Michael, for your wisdom and for making us laugh too. And thank you again to everyone for joining us this evening. We have an exciting night ahead, and I look forward to celebrating all the incredible work that we will and the projects that will be taking home commendations and awards tonight. Now, apart from being your very charming host, I had the great pleasure of serving on this year's awards jury as well. I know, an interior designer on an architecture jury. I see your raised eyebrows, it's rude. I was a bit shocked too. But all jokes aside, what sets this awards program apart is the rigorous and thorough process that's like no other. This year we had 34 jurors working across 14 award categories, 4 prize categories and 1 medallion. Our jurors volunteer an incredible amount of time and expertise, from intense presentation days to devise shortlists, in-person visits to every shortlisted project across the state, deliberations and debates to determine the commendations and the winners, and let's not forget about writing all the citations. Did we get it right? Is this the best example of its kind? Is this moving the profession forward? These are the questions that drive the work. I was part of the jury for alterations and additions and small projects, the 2 obviously most important categories. I'm joking. Our group spent 5 very big days travelling all across Sydney, the Blue Mountains, Newcastle and Southern Highlands, visiting 26 shortlisted projects. They were a whopper. There were very long drives in traffic, relentless rain, hunger issues, much debate and even a very flat Tesla battery. But look, don't worry, no architects were harmed during the making of our decisions. Quite the opposite. What I'm most grateful for from my time this year are the people I've met, bonds I've established, and friendships I've made. It's true. Every jury member across every category approached their duties with immense sense of responsibility. The process was incredibly insightful and rewarding, especially experiencing great projects in person and being guided by its creators. It also highlighted just how serious architects are about architecture. Honestly, guys, you need to get a life. Except when people's livelihoods, businesses, relationships, communities, and entire cities stand to gain or lose from projects done well or poorly. The pressure is real, so I'm feeling you. While the jury didn't always agree, our discussion made it very clear that architecture thrives on the perspectives of many bright minds. So a huge thank you goes to the entire jury and the jury chairs for your generosity and expertise this year. And since nobody will thank me, I just want to thank myself too. It's almost time for the first award to be handed out, but before we do that, there's a little bit of housekeeping. We have a lot of awards to hand out, so in the interest of time, we will only invite award and named award winners up to the stage. Projects that win commendations will collect their certificates from the box office following the ceremony. All shortlisted projects should have their representatives sitting at the front of the rooms, and we ask only those representatives to please come onto the stage. If you don't have a representative sitting in one of those allocated seats, please have 2 members come to that space now, because there are still some spare seats. We also ask that award winners come to the stage to accept the certificate only. named award winners will be invited to give a short speech before returning to their seats. But please keep your speech to 1 minute. And I mean it, and there's a timer right here, and it's in my contract to push you off stage, so don't say I didn't warn you. So without further ado, I would like to welcome to the stage the New South Wales Chapter President and now National President-elect, Adam Haddo.
Thanks, Dana, and it's really amazing to see you all here. First of all, I just want to acknowledge we're on Gadi land and really pay my respects to every Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander who's here in the room today, to our colleagues, thank you. Particularly to Lord Mayor and to Minister Scully, thank you for coming, we really appreciate it. It's been an honour to represent you over the last year. It's been the highlights of my career to date, and I just want to say this is my last official duty as New South Wales Chapter President, but my first as the National President-elect, so that's good. I really love our profession. I really love all of you. You are an amazing collegiate bunch of people who are really supportive of each other. You are competitive without being aggressive, and the most important thing is that professionally you believe in the benefit of the public. And that stands at the top of our profession, and I really appreciate that, and really appreciate the kind of camaraderie and friendship and collegiate nature within which we all exist. I think it's important to take a moment to recognise this year the New South Wales members who were recipients of national prizes. First of all, to Monica Edwards for the Paula Whitman Leadership Prize in Gender Equity. For leadership in sustainability, Paolo Macchia and Abby Galvin from the Government Architect's Office. And of course, to the man wearing the gold medal, Philip Thallis. Congratulations. I also want to thank all of the New South Wales Institute staff who worked tirelessly, in particular Lisa King and Peter Fry, who without their undedicated support, this wouldn't happen. So thank you. I also want to acknowledge Jane Cassidy, who's the current National President, and I want to thank Jane because in the last week, Jane has been able to manhandle a group of building ministers from across all states and territories. All states and territories have agreed to get in line and have a nationally consistent methodology for measuring carbon. And that is amazing. So congratulations, Jane. In my National President-elect role, I'm going to be banging on about housing and sustainability and design. I will keep banging on about it, and I'll probably bang on it until you are all really bored about it. But we have the most significant housing problem we have ever seen, from our regional cities through to our cities. And we really need to shift the discussion from a housing strategy that values investment to one that recognises housing as a human right. We can judge a society by the way it treats its most vulnerable. And at the moment, we are doing a very poor job of treating our most vulnerable. I think it's important, having Dana here is really important, I think, because she provides a lens to Australian architecture to the world. She is one of the top design speakers globally, and she represents you and projects you out to the globe. And I think that we should take a moment to recognise the amazing talent that is in this room and the kind of really world-leading work that you all do. In New South Wales, we're the only state to legislate the delivery of multiple housing projects by architects only. And both observationally and statistically, the multiple housing projects in New South Wales outperform all other states. That's because we have architects designing them. Yet in this awards program, the architectural responses to private dwellings outweigh those of multiple housing projects 8-1. We need to do better to engage with collective housing as a profession, and we need to do better to engage in collective housing as a society. To this end, it's my belief that housing will not be solved by local and state governments alone. The feds have to step up. They've got to give us money not just for housing, but for transport, health and education to make sure that the housing projects are able to be delivered in a sustainable and societal way. If we truly believe that Australia is fair and just, design, city making and architecture need to take more of a centre stage. I believe that it's time for a federal ministry of the built environment and a federal minister for the built environment. And in that sense, it should be supported by a national architect to sit beside and alongside to collaborate with the Federal Treasurer and the Secretary of Treasury. Our cities, towns and landscapes are fundamental to our health. They're fundamental to our happiness and the prosperity of Australians. Our living and working environments underpin our economic success. Equality and diversity are underpinned by good design, and you are the people to do it. The role of a federal minister and a federal ministry of the built environment is about de-siloing. It's about ensuring that there's effective collaboration and amplification of the opportunities across disparate portfolios to ensure that design solutions can lead generational change to deliver better places. Enough of that, I'll bang on all night about it. I will be talking about it a lot, and it's something that I'm going to be taking up on all levels of government. The National Conference was in Melbourne a couple of weeks ago, and I just want to set you a challenge. At the National Conference in Melbourne, it was the first time in the history of the architectural conferences that more people from the local city that was hosting the conference attended than any other state. Melbourne had 450 people attend, and New South Wales had 187. We have 4,500 members, Victoria have 3,800 members, so next year I want 1,000 of you to attend the conference, okay? In my national presidency, okay? Please enjoy the awards tonight. The work is remarkable. You are collectively remarkable. I have no idea who's winning the awards. They won't tell me, but I think they know that I have loose lips. But enjoy the awards, and congratulations to everybody for all of you, for the projects you've delivered, for all the clients, for all the consultants, and for all the local government agencies and state government agencies that have supported the design. Thank you very much, and thanks, Dana.
Let's do this again.
I'm giving out the first award. Do we have a list of who might be here? I haven't got the list of it. So that was that moment where they forgot to give me a page that said, this is exactly who you remember who you're giving it to. And I do remember, I just have that moment where there's all these lights on me, and it's, you know, when you go to a party and you see somebody and you think, I know you, I just can't remember you, and then you remember that it's your sister's brother, or your sister's partner, and you're like, oh shit. Not your sister's brother. You know what I mean? So it's my job to award the Emerging Architecture Prize this year to Jennifer McMaster.
As a founding director of Trias, Jennifer McMaster's contribution to architecture is multi-layered. Design excellence in practice, a fascination with research and innovation, and a deep commitment to the profession and society more broadly. Her work is driven by a profound dedication to addressing two of the most critical challenges of our time: housing and sustainability. Jennifer's advocacy is considered and approachable. Her ability to engage and inspire others highlights her role as a leader in advancing sustainable and innovative architectural practices.
Thank you so much. I was just joking with Adam that I must be his sister or brother or somewhere in the family, but it's a huge honour to be standing up here. I'm with Adam. Housing and sustainability, they're the two things that I'm most passionate about and we at Trias are most passionate about. First of all, I'd love to thank Casey and Johnny, who are my business partners. This is as much a credit to each of you as it is to me. Everything we've built, we've done together, and you've been my best champions and comrades through all that we've done, so thank you from the bottom of my heart. And I'd like to thank everyone in this room. I think we're stronger together. I've been inspired, mentored, coached. I've learned so much from so many people, and I hope I can do something good with this honour. Thank you again. Thank you, Adam. Thank you, jury.
Thanks, Adam, and congratulations, Jennifer. Next, we have the Imagine Project Award, now in its third year. The award is a celebration of a project delivered through the contribution of early career architects in areas such as leadership, collaboration, application of expertise, and quality of architecture. This year, the Imagine Project Award is supported by ALSPEC. I'd like to invite to the stage Spiros Kontaminas, New South Wales and ACT Specification Manager for ALSPEC, to hand over the winning certificates. And now we will look at the 9 shortlisted projects considered by the jury.
"119 Redfern Street" by Aileen Sage, Ginger Ma, Jean Rice, Dr. Nonnie Boyd and the City of Sydney. House in Surrey Hills by Architect George. Irrawaddy by Incidental Architecture. North Head Viewing Platforms by Croffy and Bungawarra with National Parks and Wildlife Service. Olive Tree House by Bastion Architecture. Southeast Centre for Contemporary Art by Sibling Architecture. Terrace House Mirage by Alchemy Architecture. The Gunnery Transformation by Dunhillam Architecture and Urban Design. And Mavis Terrace by Pascal Architects.
We have 2 award winners in this category. Our first winner is Mavis Terrace by Pascal Architects.
Mavis Terrace is a project very close to the heart of Pascal Architects. After purchasing their lifelong neighbour's home, they became architect-developer of a site adjoining Californian bungalows, which they demolished to create 9 strata terrace homes. The realisation of this project has been a remarkable success, delivering housing diversity in one of the most challenging project typologies, and, on a more personal level, providing space for their ageing mother to live amongst family.
And our second winner is Terrace House Mirage by Alchemy Architecture.
Terrace House Mirage is a delightful rethinking of an inner-city workers' terrace. Rooted in strong theoretical ambitions about family, culture and film, the adaptive reuse of the terrace balances luxury on a shoestring, genuflecting to simplicity and unfussiness rather than overworked detailing. This project oozes delight and joy and shows that architectural diversity comes in many forms.
I just wanted to say it's a real privilege to be sitting among all of you here today. It's so great to be part of a profession that gives so much to the public. I have to say thank you to my wife and to my children, Xavier and Leah, and my mother, Belinda, sister, Charlene, and Ethan, my nephew, and of course our mentors and our lecturers for having faith in us. We just hope that we could do something in the future that can continue to make you proud, and also thank you to the judges for looking at our work, and we're very humbled to be in front of you, and thank you. Appreciate it.
Hi everyone. I would just like to pay my respects for Gadi Lan and Uncle Michael, wherever he is. And also just say that, look, I'm just an architect looking for a language, a way to express myself better than the language itself through architecture. And I think that doing good work is a matter of loving what you do. It's an act of love, because there's a lot of perseverance, a lot of pain to suffer, as you all know. And I'm just here to encourage everyone to keep loving. So keep loving, put love in your work, and that's all I can say. Thank you. Thank you.
congratulations to the winners of the Emerging Architect and Imagine Project Awards. We're now moving on to the Heritage category, and to help present these awards, Chair of the Heritage Jury, Daniel Burke, will join us on stage as we take a look at the 12 shortlisted projects.
Moss Manor by Luke Maloney Architecture. Parramatta Town Hall by Designing Sydney, Lacoste Stevenson, Manuel Gautran Architecture and TDK Architects. Parramatta North Western Sydney Startup Hub by TKD Architects. The Glass House by Cracknell and Lonergan Architects. The Porterhouse Hotel by Candelapis Associates. Redfern Station by Design Inc. 119 Redfern Street by Aileen Sage, Gingermar, Jean Rice, Dr. Nonnie Boyd and the City of Sydney. Oroton Offices by Richard Stanich. The Sydney Swans HQ at the Royal Hall of Industries by Populous. Maitland Administration Centre by Maitland City Council, BVN, PTW and EJE. The Gunnery Transformation by Dunhelm Architecture and Urban Design. And Birchgrove House by Carter Williamson Architects.
The jury have awarded 3 commendations for Heritage Creative Adaptation. Congratulations to 119 Redfern Street by Aileen Sage, Gingermar, Jean Rice, Dr. Nonnie Boyd and City of Sydney. Second commendation goes to the Sydney Swan HQ at the Royal Hall of Industries by Populous. And Parramatta North Western Sydney Startup Hub by TKD Architects. This year, the jury have also awarded a commendation for Heritage Conservation to Parramatta Town Hall by Design Inc. Sydney, Lacoste Stevenson, Manuel Gautran Architecture and TKD Architects. There are 2 awards in this category. The award for Heritage Creative Adaptation goes to Redfern Station by Design Inc.
The State Heritage listed Redfern Station Group has been carefully preserved in a thoughtful adaptive reuse project that incorporates a former industrial warehouse structure into a new entryway. The jury was impressed by the efforts to conserve buildings and elevate the significance of the site's history.
And the award for Heritage Conservation goes to The Glass House by Cracknell and Lonergan Architects.
Bill and Ruth Lucas's Glass House is an exceptional example of Sydney school modernism. The current owners and architect have painstakingly repaired and remediated the home in line with archival notes, drawings, photos and sketches by Bill in an example of truly exemplary conservation.
And now the highest honour in this category, the Greenway Award for Heritage, is awarded to the Porterhouse Hotel by Candelapis Associates.
The Porterhouse Hotel is a highly successful reawakening of the original Dixons & Sons tobacco factory building on Castlereagh Street. The existing timber structural frame has been faithfully exposed, while unique hotel interventions are choreographed as crafted elements. The project highlights how conservation methodologies can be intertwined with a responsive commercial operation, all while maintaining an important heritage building of cultural significance.
Well, I never thought that we would win a Heritage Award. And yet, how nice it is to have such a thing happen. One of the most important things, I suppose, in urban life is the fabric of the city. And what's important for me is to encourage clients to do things that they would otherwise never imagine were possible. And then encourage all of the people in the office to do things that were incredible as something that is aspired by the client through that effort. I have to say it's interesting that we've become a family, and so many of the people in the room who aren't any longer with us are able to be perhaps in a way custodians of the effort that was in this project. I have to, however, honour certain people who had incorporated everything of themselves into this project, as is the case in firms such as ours. We have an amazing group of principals in the office that put everything into the tasks, and two of them, Peter Cavellis is out there. I've forgotten their names. No, it's the light. Jason and Evan, and many more. There's a great person, Sergio Azevedo as well, who isn't. There he is, he's clapping. But it's our firm's award. Anyway, I'm just joking. It just goes to say that we are able to share these awards because not one firm, not one person ever actually does the work. And that means that as a profession, the awarding of such a thing is something that can be that generous and offered to many. I'd like to also say thank you to my client, Sarah Go, and Mr. Fu, who isn't here. We have clients that couldn't speak English on this project. So we worked through translators on hundreds of millions of dollars worth of effort. And in the end, they who couldn't speak English wanted something to offer our city through the effort of our firm. And it's not my job to draw everything, but it is my job to encourage that. I thank the jury for giving us this extraordinary honour, and I thank everyone for being so generous tonight. And the builder Hutchinsons, I've got to say one thing I was told. See, I always forget. See, this is why I need people. It's incredible that builders are able to do the things that they do, but Hutchinson were exceptional. I can't believe how much affection I have for those who use their backs and their hands to work and make these things happen.
Congratulations, Candelapis Associates. I just want to point out that was not a short speech. But we'll get it right next time. The next category, Enduring Architecture, recognises an exceptional project completed at least 25 years ago that continues to be significant today. To present the award, I'd like to welcome Paolo Macchia, member of the Enduring Architecture jury, to the stage. Let's now take a look at tonight's 3 shortlisted nominees.
St John's Village by Helly Bell and Horn. Glasshouse by Bill and Ruth Lucas. And St Mary's Cathedral, Sydney by Michael Fox Architects, New South Wales State Projects, William Wardle and Cyril Wardle.
And the jury have given the 2024 award for Enduring Architecture to Glasshouse by Ruth and Bill Lucas.
The Glasshouse is an exemplar of how housing can honour its location while using minimal resources. Authored by Ruth and Bill Lucas, working collaboratively with their engineer Peter Miller, the design touches the sloping, rocky ground adjacent to a cascading watercourse with extreme care, lightness and respect. The home was designed to be adaptable to changing needs, and its connectedness with nature, celebration of resourcefulness and rich contribution to the architectural and Castle Craig communities is an inspiring and enduring benefit for us all.
Like to thank the jury, thank Institute of Architects. This is kind of quite a surprise. What was I going to say? just to say, shocked and honoured to be standing here accepting an award for Bill and Ruth, who I know would be thrilled, absolutely thrilled and honoured to be honoured with this award. It was interesting, I was here earlier today, as I arrived this evening, I don't see many familiar faces. I guess that's how architecture moves, and the old firm is perhaps, as Bill would be, close to 100 this year. In fact, he's 5 months off turning 100, but he's been gone for 23 years. I'd like to just pivot to a few thank yous. Most significant ones are to Peter Lonergan and Julie Cracknell, who have shown great support for Bill in his lifetime, and now 23 years post, they're still prepared to put themselves out on a limb financially and in spirit. I know Bill and Ruth would be most appreciative. Also, Jamie Perot, who's the new owner, for Jamie and Marika, who have three young boys and endured the painstaking but task of digging up and re-establishing the bones of the glass house, which were even after 67 years were still evident, but there needed to be some pretty painstaking work done there, and there's still more to do. The undercarriage, which is entirely in steel, needs a thorough repair job, and the bathrooms. But beyond that, I know Bill and Ruth would be just thrilled and honoured, and I'm honoured to be standing here accepting this for them. Thank you very much. Thank you.
We're moving on to the small project architecture presented by Brickworks. As we take a look at the shortlisted projects in this category, I'd like to welcome Alessandra Guerrero, Business Development Manager at Brickworks, to the stage to present the awards.
When you enter the house, you can see the backyard and you can read the original structure of the cottage in the new work. I think the thing that I'm most proud of is the way the materials sit together. It feels and looks the same as it did when we handed the keys over to Harriet 3 years ago. And I think it really has not only suited Harriet, but elevated her quality of life. And that is something that I'm really proud of.
Bobbin Head Amenities by Aileen Sage Architects. Coconut Crab by ASA in collaboration with Casa Adams Fine Wares. Ewan Park Outdoor Learning Centre by Sam Crawford Architects. Hurlston Memorial Reserve Community Centre by Sam Crawford Architects. North Head Viewing Platforms by Croffy and Bungawarra with National Parks and Wildlife Service. And Princess Studio by Curious Practice.
Tonight, the jury have given a commendation to Bobbin Head Amenities by Aileen Sage. And the award for small project architecture goes to Hurlston Memorial Reserve Community Centre by Sam Crawford Architects.
This modest community centre is a joyous and unexpected building that creates varying activations both inside and outside of its spaces. This project demonstrates what can be achieved by an imaginative team with a shared goal to uplift and complement a local area.
And the highest honour, the Robert Woodward Award for Small Project Architecture, goes to North Head Viewing Platform by Croffy and Bangawarra with National Parks and Wildlife Services.
The North Head viewing platforms are an exemplar in designing on, with and for country. Sitting on the important lands of Corangal, 2 platforms wrap around 2 new ceremonial circles where people can gather, learn and share stories. The project is a respectful remediation of a bushfire-damaged landscape that has also worked to reframe the cultural heritage and future identity of North Head to provide opportunities for meaningful connections with country.
Hi there. Well, this is a real honour. I'd like to say thank you to the Institute, the jury for their tireless efforts, our client, the National Parks and Wildlife Service, for offering us this amazing opportunity to create such a special project in a special place, great, amazing site, and such a culturally sensitive place. Thanks to our collaborators, our co-design partners, Bangawarra, Shannon, and also a special thank you to Luke Hannaford, who was the project architect on this lovely project.
Thank you, number one, to Crofi, who made sure that we were there on the project team. But this is testament to the fact that when you hold space for country, country will speak back to you, and it's absolute magic. Go and check it out. It's amazing. Thank you.
The next category is Sustainable Architecture, which we will be presenting tonight by jury member, or I should say the jury member, Lindsay Johnson, will be presenting them tonight. Now let's take a look at the nominees.
Barker College Maths and Students Hub by Architectus. Campbell House Private Office by Tonkin Zuleika Greer. Dashund House by Maxwell and Page. Fun House by ASA. Long Reef Surf Lifesaving Club by Adriano Papilli Architects. Nightingale Marrickville by SJB. Olive Tree House by Bastion Architecture. Pocket Passive by Anderson Architecture. And the Pavilion Performing Arts Centre Sutherland by Croffy and NBRS.
Recognising the great range of projects on the shortlist, the jury have awarded 3 commendations that go to Fun House by ASA, Long Reef Surf Life Saving Club by Adriano Papilli Architects, and the Pavilion Performing Arts Centre Sutherland by Croffy and NBRS. Congratulations to the teams on the commendations. The jury have given 3 awards for sustainable architecture, which go to Campbell House Private Office by Tonkin Zuleika Greer.
Campbell House Private Office is an adaptive reuse project with a clear sustainability focus. The existing manor house now features dedicated work zones, which are all connected by a new central atrium that introduces natural light and supports the addition of solar panels and rooftop rainwater collection.
Olive Tree House by Bastion Architecture.
Olive Tree House is an innovative 2-storey family home that is energy neutral in operation. The house is configured around an outside living deck and existing olive tree, and opens up and closes down to respond to its orientation and catch the coastal breezes.
And the 3rd award goes to Pocket Passive by Anderson Architecture.
Pocket Passive is a highly effective reimagining of an underutilised patch of land in an inner city location. The project demonstrates the value of infill housing with an efficient building envelope to deliver a resilient, comfortable and compact dwelling.
Congratulations to the award winners. And the Milo Dunphy Award for Sustainable Architecture, the highest honour in this category, goes to Barker College Maths and Students Hub by Architectus.
Barker College Maths and Student Hub is an exemplary building that demonstrates a comprehensive approach to environmental sustainability. The project is intelligently sited and has cleverly addressed orientation issues to optimise solar control and natural ventilation. A mass timber structure and cross-laminated secondary components significantly reduce embodied carbon, while the largely all-electric operations are supported by solar panels that display their energy production to integrate sustainability into the students' learning.
Well, thanks very much, everyone. I might be a little bit biased, but this is definitely the best award, isn't it? I think it's so important that it probably shouldn't even be an award. It should be a prerequisite for every other category. And so, congratulations to all the other nominees for delivering amazing, sustainable outcomes for our society. And yeah, I'd like to thank Barker College for being an amazing client, Buildcorp for delivering this building during the wettest year on record that Sydney's ever had, and my friends and colleagues at Architecture, so Hope Dryden, Luke Johnson. It's a real honour to accept this award on all of our behalves, so thank you.
And now to the Colorbond Award for Steel in Architecture. But before we do that, Peter, I'm thirsty. The Colorbond Award for Steel in Architecture is supported by BlueScope. To present this award, I'd like to welcome to the stage Nathan Blackwell, National Business Development Lead for Buildings at BlueScope. Let's look at the nominees for the Colorbond Award.
Out on the patio, we'd sit, and the humidity
Colorbond, made by Australia.
St Patrick's Primary School, Lochinvar, by Shack. Blacktown Exercise and Sports Technology Hub, by ARM Architecture with Architectus and Co-op Studio. Mavis Terrace, by Pascal Architects. Birchgrove House, by Carter Williamson Architects. Culburra Beach House, by Virginia Kerridge Architect. Rosedale House, by Scale Architecture. Shed House, by Breakspear Architects. And Maggie Street, by Curious Practice.
The 2024 Colorbond Award for Steel in Architecture goes to Rosedale House by Scale Architecture.
Rosedale House is a celebration of the use of steel. It embraces both its aesthetic qualities and its performance attributes to create architecture of enduring value and appeal. Clad entirely in Colorbond Steel's Manor Red, the hip roof profile of the home is an unashamed reference to the modest tin shacks that once lined our coastal towns. Its monochromatic response helps the home settle into its context, all while responding to the bushfire-prone landscape with the functional power of steel.
Wow, this is bloody unreal. It was totally unexpected. Didn't expect to have to give a speech tonight, but what an amazing honour to stand in front of my wonderful colleagues, all of you who support us so much through everything we do. Massive thank you to Nathan for this award and to the jurors. to our fabulous project team who made this possible. It was done on a shoestring budget as a bushfire rebuild in a very damaged part of country, and bringing community back and bringing people back to the community of Rosedale was super important for us, and we made it happen, so thank you.
It's now time for our annual recognition of the best of regional architecture with the Blackett Prize. To say a few words and to announce the winner of this prestigious category, I'd like to invite to the stage the Chair of the Regional Division Committee, Phoebe Glanville.
Thanks, Dana. Good evening, everyone. The Regional Committee represents members in New South Wales outside of Greater Sydney. Through our work, we strive to promote and advocate for a high level of design excellence throughout regional New South Wales. We aim to be a platform for public and peer recognition of outstanding architecture and support our regional members. As part of the Regional Committee, our role is also to take part in the jury for the prestigious Blackett Prize. The Blackett Prize was named for the 19th century architect Edmund Blackett, whose picturesque Gothic revival churches can still be found in many country towns. It was established in 1964 and introduced by the New South Wales chapter to recognise and promote design excellence outside of Sydney. It is critiqued on a project's ability to enhance a regional context, revitalising a building and area for the public to enjoy. It is the highest honour for projects situated in regional New South Wales. This year, the award for the 2024 Blackett Prize goes to Southeast Centre for Contemporary Art by Sibling Architecture.
The Southeast Centre for Contemporary Art is an extensive refurbishment and expansion of the former Bega Valley Regional Art Gallery. The clever design incorporates a well-resolved and carefully detailed addition to the original building. Its expansion strategically reprograms existing functions, bringing gallery spaces to the periphery to showcase exhibitions through large openings in the facade screen. The project demonstrates an innovative and sensitive architectural revival.
Wow, thank you so much to the jury. This is a massive surprise and a huge honour. I think we want to make a huge thanks to our clients, the Regional Gallery of Bega, who trusted us with this project. It's been in our office for a very long time. It was very hard to get through and get built. It went through many different ups and downs, but we finally got there, and it was amazing that they trusted an emerging practice with such an important project. The fact that it was in our office for such a long time meant that so many people worked on it. So I just want to thank everyone in the Sibling team who worked on it. In particular, I want to thank my co-director, Chenya Lim, who's holding her 4-day-old baby, who led this project from start to finish in an amazing way. And also want to thank Elle, who who led the project from the office here and did an amazing job.
And I would say a quick shout out to all the team at Sibling and obviously everyone here tonight, but also to all the incredible builders. It was very tricky to get across the line. So shout out to Todd and Andy and Dan, who were our clients.
Yeah, thank you.
We're moving on to the Public Architecture Award now, which culminates with the announcement of the prestigious Sulman Medal. This category is supported by Number One Roofing and Building Supplies, and I'd like to invite to the stage Marcio da Silva, General Manager of Architectural Specifications. There are 10 shortlisted projects in this category, so let's have a look at the nominees now.
Marty Smith Oval, Cricket and AFL Sports Pavilion by local architect South Coast in association with Barnacle Studio. Long Reef Surf Lifesaving Club by Adriano Papilli Architects. Powerhouse Castle Hill by Lars Nemo Architects. Sydney Football Stadium by Cox Architecture. Redfern Station by Design Inc. The Pavilion Performing Arts Centre Sutherland by Croffy and NBRS. Parramatta Aquatic Centre by Grimshaw and Andrew Burgess Architects with McGregor Coxall. South East Centre for Contemporary Art by Sibling Architecture. 119 Redfern Street by Aileen Sage, Gingermar, Jean Rice, Dr. Nonnie Boyd and the City of Sydney. Hilltops Young High School Library by Hable.
The jury have awarded 3 commendations, and they are Redfern Station by Design Inc. Sydney Football Stadium, Allianz Stadium by Cox Architecture. And the Pavilion Performing Arts Centre Sutherland by Croffy and NBRS. We have 3 award announcements in this category. Long Reef Surf Lifesaving Club by Adriano Papilli Architects.
The Long Reef Surf Lifesaving Club is a thoughtful and nature-based response with a functional, flexible layout. Designed to be visually recessive, the building is nestled behind the sand dunes, maintaining the primacy of the natural setting while still creating beautiful spaces for community use.
Powerhouse Castle Hill by Lars Nemo Architects.
Powerhouse Castle Hill is a beautifully realised storage facility which also incorporates space to support research, conservation, exhibitions and engagement programs. The sculptural building is exceptionally refined, delivering a sublime space for all to appreciate.
South East Centre for Contemporary Art by Sibling Architecture.
The South East Centre for Contemporary Art deftly transforms the Bega Valley Regional Gallery into a renewed cultural hub for the local community. Playful insertions into the fabric of the existing building bring character and joy, giving rise to a new and compelling place identity.
And 119 Redfern Street by Aileen Sage, Gingermar, Jean Rice, Dr. Nonnie Boyd and City of Sydney.
The transformation of 119 Redfern Street into a First Nations community hub by the City of Sydney with Aileen Sage, Gingermar, Jane Rice and Dr. Nonnie Boyd is an extraordinary example of the power of collaborative design. The program is restrained and functional, but executed with thoughtful detailing. The building has been sensitively stripped back to reveal and celebrate its original state, being true to the Indigenous economic theory of enoughness that has driven all design and planning decisions.
And now to the highest honour that can be bestowed in the public architecture, the Sulman Medal, is awarded to Parramatta Aquatic Centre by Grimshaw, Andrew Burgess Architects and McGregor Coxall.
The Parramatta Aquatic Centre is an example of a different way of conceptualising aquatic centres. The master plan is clever in its simplicity, responding to the topography of the surrounding park and elevating the experience of the landscape. This project is an incredible addition to public Sydney and demonstrates the importance and value of strong urban design and landscape input to drive the best public outcomes.
Thanks very much to the jury, and this was very much a passion project. We learn a lot from Ganyama and see this project very much as the calm second child after the first aquatic centre. I want to thank Grimshaw. It was very much a single team working together. Big thanks to Grimshaw, to Josh, to Elena, who was an absolute powerhouse on this project, and to Catherine Chang, and fantastic collaboration with Phil and the team at McGregor Coxall, and to my own team, from the competition, Eric, who was the first person that drew the circle, to Chris Mullaney, Lucas, Charles, and Eva working through the project in construction. Thanks very much.
Just briefly, yeah, we're very proud to have been involved. It's a project we're very proud of, and it's shaped up wonderfully. We'd also like to thank Lippman the Builder, who crafted a fantastic building, and Parramatta Council, who's here tonight, who are fantastic clients and real champions of the project. Thank you very much. The project had a really strong public support behind it, and it was a real genuine public benefit to Western Sydney, and I think that's demonstrated in the patronage numbers that the facility gets now, which are really remarkable. So thank you again, and if you haven't been out there, get out there for a swim. Thank you.
Moving on now to urban design supported by Autodesk, I'd like to invite to the stage Martin Ryle, AEC Lead ANZ, to hand over the winning certificates. But let's now first take a look at the nominee role.
Hello, I'm the future, and I'm here to tell the story of a design and make movement that's revolutionizing the way the world gets made. As we speak, industry leaders are upskilling their workforce, accelerating progress with AI, and embracing sustainability. With the Autodesk Design and Make platform, problem solvers like you are creating the future I always hoped to become. With your help, we're going to make it, because together, we can make anything.
Charles Street Square by Lars Nimmo Architects with SMM. Parramatta Aquatic Centre by Grimshaw and Andrew Burgess Architects with McGregor Coxall. Redfern Station by Design Inc. Sydney Football Stadium by Cox Architecture with Aspect Studios. And Transport Access Program Tranche 3 by Transport for New South Wales Urban Design, Public Transport and Precincts.
The jury have given 2 commendations in this category, and they go to Redfern Station by Design Inc. And Transport Access Program Tranche 3 by Transport for New South Wales Urban Design, Public Transport and Precincts. We have 2 awards in this category. The first one goes to Charles Street Square by Lars Nimmo Architects and SMM.
Charles Street Square uses innovative problem solving to transform a ferry wharf into a vibrant public space. Accessibility and durability underpin a theatrical design experience that connects with the environment as well as the stories of the site's traditional owners.
And the second award goes to Parramatta Aquatic Centre by Grimshaw and Andrew Burgess Architects and McGregor Coxall.
The Parramatta Aquatic Centre transcends the typical. Submerged underneath public gardens, the centre is an oasis that expands beyond its walls, creating space for connection and interaction between pool users and passers-by.
And the Lloyd Rees Award for Urban Design, the highest honour in this category, goes to Sydney Football Stadium, Allianz Stadium by Cox Architects and Aspect Studios.
The Sydney Football Stadium transcends the typical cordoned stadium building with a design that expands the surrounding public domain. Catering to diverse needs, the stadium offers intimate spaces, dedicated play areas, and grand civic gestures that come alive on event day. The project sets a benchmark for integrating large-scale sporting facilities into the urban fabric, promoting daily experiences and public benefit beyond game day and outside the paywall.
Can I first say how wonderful it is to be here tonight and to see such amazing projects of all scales, really quite humbling and incredible. Can I thank the jury? Can I also thank all of the shortlisted schemes? They're all clearly very impressive. This was a joint project between Cox and Aspect, and certainly the urban design and the capacity and ability to contribute to the public realm in a positive way was really central to, you know, our shared agenda. Can I thank the staff and a lot of people, not only Cox, but Cox in Sydney and Melbourne, and Pete is here from our Melbourne studio, but also Aspect, of course. Interestingly,
through COVID. Do we remember COVID? It seems like such a long time ago, but doing a project of this scale and complexity through the work from home arrangement with COVID was certainly an additional challenge. Can I thank, of course, Venues New South Wales, our client, and of course John Hollins, the builder, and indeed the whole consultant team. So thank you very much, everyone.
And now to commercial architecture, supported by Lysart. I'd like to invite to the stage Jess Lindsay, Business Development Manager for Architectural Design Solutions in New South Wales, to hand over the winning certificates. But first, let's look at 9 shortlisted projects for commercial architecture.
In the quest to design enduring yet functional buildings and spaces, navigating your material choices can be daunting. That's where Lysart excels, a business committed to simplifying the process and inspiring your creativity. Our expertise can streamline your path from concept to completion, ensuring your designs stand the test of time. Let us be your partner in building better.
Moss Manor by Luke Maloney Architecture. Darlinghurst Workplace by BVN. The Porterhouse Hotel by Candelapis Associates. 88 Walker by Fitzpatrick and Partners. Blue and William by Woods Bagot. Next DC S3 Data Centre by Greenbox Architecture. Good Hope by Those Architects. Campbell House Private Office by Tonkins Alaka Greer. And the Sydney Swans HQ at the Royal Hall of Industries by Populous.
From the field of shortlisted projects, we have 2 commendations. Congratulations to Blue and William by Woods Bagot. And Good Hope by Those Architects. We have 2 awards to hand out in the category. The first one goes to the Porterhouse Hotel by Candelapis Associates.
The Porterhouse Hotel is a revitalisation of the heritage-listed Porterhouse in Sydney's CBD. Thoughtful planning invites the public into the precinct, while expressive facades encourage curiosity. Balancing tradition and modernity, this is a refined architectural approach informed by the craftsmanship of the historical site.
And the second award goes to the Sydney Swans HQ at the Royal Hall of Industries by Populous.
Housed within the iconic Royal Hall of Industries, Sydney Swans HQ features public, sports and corporate spaces that orbit an indoor playing field. Its thoughtful design respects the hall's storied past and positions it as a dynamic hub for current and future use.
And the highest honour in the category, the Sir Arthur G. Stevenson Award for Commercial Architecture, goes to Campbell House Private Office by Tonkin Zuleika Greer.
The Campbell House Private Office is a Federation-style house that has been transformed into a contemporary office space. It marries historical preservation with forward-thinking design to create a commercial typology that is adaptive, environmentally responsible and communal. A central town hall integrates into the heritage structure, creating a light-filled gathering space for collaboration. A mature weeping fig tree diffuses light throughout this new addition, symbolising the continuing life and evolution of a project that will only improve with age.
I don't know what to say. This is completely unexpected because Campbell House was designed as in the name, we thought it was a house. They were private offices for a private client. So we took the term commercial and flipped it on its back and said, well, why don't we think about this as our own home? And wouldn't it be fabulous if we could design every project as our own home on someone else's dime? That would be great. But to think about Campbell House winning a commercial award is truly unbelievable. It's all come about from a very rich heritage context. which is supplemented by landscape externally and drawing it internally, which is then supplemented by our client who encouraged and supported our vision for sustainability from the onset. And lastly, by very clever architectural interventions that created a wonderful workspace for about a family of 40, let's say, to work within. We want to thank the jury who gave us this award, but the biggest shout out tonight has to go to the team. And Camilla, I'm going to use 10 seconds of my speech time to give her a very big hug. Tim Greer couldn't be with us tonight, but a massive shout out to him. And if Teaser Jig team could raise their hands in the back, there they are, there they are. They are the inspiration, the brains, the knowledge, the door and window details, the beam coordination, and all of the love support that made this possible. So thank you. This is for you.
No disrespect to the men, but I'm loving having all these ladies up on stage. The girl energy is good. More, please. Moving on to the educational architecture category presented by Bondor. I'd like to invite Lee Lebelastier, Architectural Business Development Manager at Bondor, to join us on stage while we take a look at 7 shortlisted nominees.
Hilltops Young High School Library by Hable. Barker College Maths and Student Hub by Architectus. St Patrick's College Scientia Building by BVN. Darlington Public School by FJC Studio. Centre for Science and Art, Abbotsleigh Senior School by AJC. St Patrick's Primary School Lochinvar by SHAC. Blacktown Exercise and Sports Technology Hub by ARM Architecture with Architectus and Co-op Studio.
There are 4 commendations in this category, and they are Barker College Maths and Student Hub by Architectus. Blacktown Exercise and Sports Technology Hub by ARM Architecture with Architectus and Co-op Studio. Hilltops Young High School Library by Hable. And St Patrick's Primary School Lochinvar by SHAC. Congratulations to all the commendations, and we're now moving on to the award. There's one award tonight, which goes to Darlington Public School by FJC Studio. Congratulations.
Darlington Public School's architectural design follows a clear and simple diagram that combines cross-ventilated learning spaces and a semi-outdoor space for flexible learning. The design celebrates the school's rich Indigenous culture and considers community accessibility through shared use spaces.
The highest honour in the educational architecture category, the William E. Kemp Award, goes to St Patrick's College Scientia Building by BVN.
The Scientia Building at St Patrick's College, Strathfield, is a simple yet striking volume. The building's layout accommodates various learning styles, with flexible zones for cross-curricular workshops and small group study. Classrooms and laboratories seamlessly connect with central learning spaces and versatile verandas, while numerous outdoor areas further enrich the educational experience. Additionally, a signature tiered grandstand adds a distinctive feature to the architectural landscape, serving as a focal point for both academic and social activities.
Thank you. This is definitely a massive surprise. This was an amazing vision from the principal, who kind of saw beyond what could be created, and so it was a real kind of vision from him. So I have to say a shout out to the principal, Craig, for this project, and a huge shout out to BVN and everyone that contributed to this, because it was just an amazing project that we put a lot of love into. So thank you very much.
It's now time for the City of Sydney Lord Mayor Prize, an award selected by Lord Mayor in recognition of a project that makes a positive contribution to the Sydney community. To present this award, I would like to invite to the stage the Right Honourable Clover Moore, Lord Mayor of the City of Sydney, AO.
Well, the women are dominating tonight, aren't they? And I must say, I always love coming to these awards. It's one of my favourite nights of the year. I want to thank, I've had one of those moments. Michael West. I want to thank Michael West for his welcome. I want to acknowledge the Gadigal of the Eora and the traditional custodians of our land and pay my respects to the elders, both past and present, and acknowledge the people of the many nations who live in our city. I want to acknowledge Minister Paul Scully, President Adam Haddo, and I'm very pleased to be here tonight with Howard Collins, who is the Coordinator General of Transport. And it is with great pleasure that I announce the Lord Mayor's Prize for 2024 goes to the significant Redfern Station upgrade submitted by Design Inc. on behalf of the whole design team and commissioned and funded by Transport for New South Wales. Yeah. The upgrade of Redfern Station, which was so unloved for so long, delivers a highly functional solution to the need for universal access to the fifth busiest train station on Sydney's transport network. And it provides a welcoming and positive experience for residents and workers, which sets a high bar for other infrastructure projects. High-quality urban design considers the integration of the landing connections on both sides of the station, the adaptive reuse of former broom factory and warehouse in Little Everleigh Street, and a generous open paved and green setting at both Marion Street and Little Everleigh Street. This embraces the level of integration and design with the surrounds needed by this once-in-a-generation infrastructure project. I'd like to congratulate the team at Design Inc. and to Howard Collins and Transport for New South Wales. This is a really worthy win, so thank you.
The upgrade of Redfern Station delivers a highly functional solution for station accessibility through a welcoming and positive architectural experience. This high-quality urban design project considers the integration of the landing connections on both sides of the station, creating a vital community gateway for all.
Congratulations, Design Inc., and thank you, Lord Mayor. This brings us to the first of the residential categories, residential architecture houses new, supported by Kraus Bricks. I'd like to invite to the stage Ashley Evans, architectural sales specialist at Kraus Bricks, to hand over the winning certificates. There are 16 projects on the shortlist considered by the jury, so let's take a look.
Block Belongal by Block Modular and Vokes & Peters. Clifton House by Anthony Gill Architects. Culburra Beach House by Virginia Kerridge Architect. Dashund House by Maxwell & Page. Fish River House by Incidental Architecture. Gully House by Andrew Burgess Architects. Highlands House by Luke Maloney Architecture. Irrawaddy by Incidental Architecture. Kidman Lane by Plus Minus Design. Little Young Street 4A and 4B by David Langston Jones. Maitland Bay House by Studio Bright. Olive Tree House by Bastion Architecture. Rosedale House by Scale Architecture. Shed House by Breakspear Architects. Shiplap House by Chen Chow Little. And Watson Bay House by Ian Moore Architects.
Unsurprisingly, a pretty impressive collection of projects there. The jury are awarding 4 commendations, and they go to Fish River House by Incidental Architecture. Irrawaddy, also by Incidental Architecture. Little Young Street 4A and 4B by David Langston Jones. And Shiplap House by Chanchar Little. Congratulations to all the teams involved in those fantastic projects. There are 4 awards given out tonight, which go to Block Ballongel by Block Modular with Vokes and Peters.
Block Belongal is a modular home in Byron Bay that challenges typical building methods. Factory built, the detail and resolution far exceed that of a typical house built to the same budget, while in plan, flexibility caters for both immediate and future residents alike.
Clifton House by Anthony Gill Architects.
Clifton House is a jewel of a family home in Bondi. The design of the house and its resolution is exacting, while a dichotomy between precision and intangibility creates a beautiful and inventive diagram that plays out across the home's 2 floors.
Kidman Lane by Plus Minus Design.
Kidman Lane in Sydney's Paddington is an exemplary model for affordable, compact and joyful city living. It is modest in budget but rich in detail and works hard within its small footprint to provide an experiential richness beyond its size.
And Shed House by Breakspear Architects.
Shed House in Sydney's Elwood is a work, live, environmentally responsive home that is exquisitely detailed but without fuss. The home suggests a new kind of terrace house arrangement that puts forward a positive alternative to the future development of our suburbs.
And the highest honour, the Wilkinson Award for Residential Architecture Houses New, is given to Maitland Bay House by Studio Bright.
Maitland Bay House is finely tuned and beautifully crafted. Sitting high on the escarpment overlooking Maitland Bay, the home is both sculptural and social, inviting the community in and creating an architectural intervention that sits gently within its context. Modest in scale, the house presents a beguiling sense of calm and nurture and celebrates the majesty of the Angophoras, sea and cliffs of the central coast of New South Wales.
Wow, thanks so much. That's a really incredible field and the biggest honour and not what we expected at all. And I suppose as Victorians up here in your awards, our popcorn was this big, yours is this small. However, this is much more fun. I suppose we just wanted to say that thank you to New South Wales and Sydney. We have been offered such incredible opportunities in this city and way more than we often get offered at home. And so thank you for your generosity and your trust and the wonderful collegiate community here. Congrats to the fabulous Em who delivered this project and basically does most of the hard work in our studio. And also, last bit, but to our clients, very, very special family and a house made as we hope, a beautiful retreat for 3 very special boys and their parents. Thank you.
Next up, we have the Residential Architecture category, Alterations and Additions, supported by Architectural Window Systems. I'd like to invite to the stage Matt Finney, Eastern Regional Manager, to hand over the winning certificates. There are 20 projects on this shortlist. Now let's have a look.
AWS strives to be at the forefront of innovation with window and door systems that provide flexibility, energy efficiency, comfort, and the ability to maximise natural light. Our window and door systems help designers to meet the 7-star minimum energy efficiency requirements for newly built homes, apartments and renovations. With an extensive range for residential and commercial projects, designed, tested and made right here in Australia, our products are available through 200 licensed fabricators nationwide. Contact us today to find the right solution for your project.
Arcadia by Plus Minus Design. Aru House by Curious Practice. Bayview Tree House by Woodward Architects. Bellevue Hill House by Tribe Studio Architects. Birch Grove House by Carter Williamson Architects. Blue Mountains House by Anthony Gill Architects. Bowral House by Luke Maloney Architecture. Courtyard House by Atelier M. Funhouse by ASA. Helen's Place by Custom Mad. Hidden Garden House by Sam Crawford Architects. Hill House by Breakspear Architects. House in Lilyfield by Charmaine Pang Architect. House in Surrey Hills by Architect George. House Loop by Lintel Studio for Architecture. Lee House by Candelapis Associates. Queen's Park by Downey North. Terrace House Mirage by Alchemy Architecture. Treehouse by Dunhillam Architecture and Urban Design. And Vessel by Madeline Blanchfield Architects.
I think we should also invent an award for the longest shortlist, which I think this is just one. There are 4 commendations for residential architecture, alterations and additions, and they are Bellevue Hill House by Tribe Studio Architects. House in Lilyfield by Charmaine Pang Architect. House in Surrey Hills by Architect George. And Vessel by Madeline Blanchfield Architects. Congratulations to all the practices on your commendations. The jury have given out 5 awards for residential architecture, alterations and additions, which go to Arcadia by Plus Minus Design.
Arcadia is a transformation of a 1920s home that is multi-layered and full of surprises. Although highly resolved and meticulously detailed, the house is unafraid to break with convention and introduces multiple moments of delight that elevate its original character.
Bayview Tree House by Woodward Architects.
Bayview Tree House is a consummate transformation of a 1970s beach house into an extraordinary family home. Drawing inspiration from Japanese design and the ethos of wabi-sabi, this project finds beauty in imperfection, embracing the raw and unrefined with a quiet elegance.
Blue Mountains House by Anthony Gill Architects.
Blue Mountains House unifies a modified 1970s family home and a new guest house. Respecting the essence of the original building, the architectural response creates a dynamic composition that celebrates movement and the shift from the elemental to the sculptural.
Lee House by Candelapis Associates.
Lee House is a sensitive and highly crafted home. It is neighbourly in its form and acknowledgement of the local heritage. It is bold and rigorous in its internal organisation, and it is humane in the detailing of items where occupants come into close and direct contact.
And Terrace House Mirage by Alchemy Architecture.
Terrace House Mirage is an unexpected and delightful interpretation of urban living. Behind an unassuming front door, the interior unfolds as a captivating narrative where each element blurs the boundaries between inside and out, bringing nature into the fabric of the design.
Congratulations to all the winners on these extraordinary projects. And the highest honour in this category the Hugh and Eva Burek Award for Residential Architecture, Alterations and Additions goes to Aru House by Curious Practice.
Aru House is an exemplar project that combines a thorough understanding of context, environmental awareness and material capability. It follows a strategic response to create new layers that are not simply additions to an existing structure, but considered augmentations to the original dwelling. Materials have been salvaged and repurposed where possible, and skilled exercises in the craft of making have given the project a depth of character and meaning and a true expression of care.
That's a very pleasant surprise for us, and it's a real honour. There's a saying, I can't remember it, but it's about the architecture in the rain, and it was absolutely flogging down on the day that the jury came to visit, so big thanks to the jury. I know it was also quite a journey to get home. And yeah, it's a real honour to receive this award, I guess, looking and seeing some of our heroes in the audience. I think I saw John Wardle somewhere before, which is pretty cool. And yeah, obviously a huge shout out to all the people that were involved with the project. The team, we've got an incredible team that we work with. It's great to be a regional practice, and I guess some of the challenges. We always prioritise architecture as the main outcome that we're striving to achieve. And big thanks to my family who put up with me, and also the builders who were really special, and we've got a great connection with, and we really respect everyone, like from the labourers to the bricklayers, to everyone. And yeah, this is a real honour and very special to receive. Thank you very much.
Congratulations, Curious Practice. Now to multi-residential architecture presented by Modex. While we look at the nominee role, I'd like to welcome Blake Medway, Project Manager at Modex, to this stage to present the awards.
Aesthetic. Ergonomic. Flexible. Durable. Supporting the finest design. The Modex system of modular handrails is guaranteed to be fit for purpose compliant. Time after time after time.
Maggie Street by Curious Practice. Botany Road by Candelapis Associates. Horizon Apartments by CKDS Architecture, Hill Talus Architecture and Urban Projects. Huntington by SJB. Igloo Mascot by Bates Smart. Lunar Apartments by Rothy Lohman. Nightingale Marrickville by SJB. Quebec Newport by Nettleton Tribe. The Flynn by Chris Jenkins Design Architects. The Surrey by Candelapis Associates. And Ziggy's Villas by Harley Graham Architects.
There are 4 commendations for multiple housing, and they go to Botany Road by Candelapis Associates. Nightingale Marrickville by SJB. The Surrey by Candelapis Associates. And Ziggy's Villas by Harley Graham Architects. There are 3 award announcements in this category, and they are Horizon Apartment by CKDS Architecture and Hill Talus Architecture and Urban Projects.
Horizon Apartments are 3 buildings that respond to their place between the harbour and city. Carefully considered apartment plans maximise the relationship between the facade and the internal area, while sightlines enable views all over the harbour from all parts of the building.
Huntington by SJB.
Huntington Located on the harbour in Newcastle is a beautiful project that clearly responds to its context. The architecture and materiality are rich, and forms reminiscent of the area's industrial history present as sculptures to the city.
And Maggie Street by Curious Practice.
Maggie Street is a set of 4 detached 2-storey dwellings, hidden deceptively within the facade of a single building. Each small home has a generosity of space and an elegant use of simple and durable materials, with thoughtful detailing and strong composition.
And the highest honour in the residential architecture category, the Aaron Bollett Award for Multiple Housing, is presented to Igloo Mascot by Bates Smart. Congratulations.
Igloo Mascot represents a highly considered, exceptional architectural outcome that engages with the existing community and new residents alike. The project shows qualities at urban, architectural and human scales, and the spatial configuration of the interiors promotes social experience and resident engagement. In an environment where previous developments have instilled a sense of fear in the community, Igloo provides an exemplar for positive change, demonstrating the impact and value of good design.
Thank you very much to the jury and to the Institute of Architects. It's an absolutely massive honour to receive this award. I have to thank this client who's been absolutely extraordinary in their support of our practice, but also in their commitment to delivering incredible housing for young people who are, at those formative years of their lives, and they're incredibly passionate about it, and they really embrace the ideas and that we put forward to them, and I thank them for that. I thank the builder Icon and the consultant team, and I thank the Bates Smart team, of which there were many, and to Roger Toe, who was the project leader.
We're moving on to interior architecture category supported by Dulux. I'd like to invite to the stage Hudad Merbod, National Specification Manager at Dulux, to present the winning certificates. Now, let's take a look at tonight's 12 shortlisted projects.
Worth doing. Worth Dulux.
Barrel House by Luke Maloney Architecture. Highlands House by Luke Maloney Architecture. 477 Pitt Street by Wardle. Michael Kirby Building by Hassel. Transurban by Bates Smart. Lee House by Candelapis Associates. The Porterhouse Hotel by Candelapis Associates. Capella Sydney by Make Architects and BAR Studio. Campbell House Private Office by Tonkins Alika Greer. Birchgrove House by Carter Williamson Architects. The Gunnery Transformation by Dunhillam Architecture and Urban Design. And Blacktown Exercise and Sports Technology Hub by ARM Architecture with Co-op Studio.
The jury have awarded 3 commendations in this category, and they go to Campbell House Private Office by Tonkins Alika Greer Architects. Michael Kirby Building by Hassel. And Transurban by Bates Smart. There are 2 awards tonight in this category which go to Blacktown Exercise and Sports Technology Hub by ARM Architecture with Co-op Studio.
The Best Hub greets the community with energy and joy. Its dynamic architecture is conceptualised around movement and transformation, with bold, curvaceous and colourful public areas redefining and expanding the expectations of its use.
and Lee House by Candelapis Associates.
Lee House is a thoughtful yet unconventional intervention on a modest seaside cottage. A lightweight timber-framed structure creates an entirely new internal spatial experience, where framed, intimate and caring gestures of hospitality transform the cottage into a home.
And the highest honour in this category, the John Verge Award for Interior Architecture, goes to 477 Pitt Street by Wardle.
477 Pitt Street is the masterful transformation of a lobby into a rich and layered interior experience. Interventions into the existing facade through large framed windows and verandas restore a much-needed relationship with the street, while internally, the selection and use of materials demonstrates the power of simple strategic intervention in reinvigorating spaces. 477 succeeds in bringing a sense of belonging and intimacy to a typology that often is left a transitional space.
Goodness, what an honour. This is quite remarkable. Such a competitive field. We're just so honoured to be here this evening and receive this award. Thank you to the jury. Thank you for visiting our project. It was delivered over many, many years. A remarkable client, ISPT, enabled us to achieve this vision. So they were wonderful supporters. Buildcorp, who built this project for us and had immaculate care and detail. And of course, our wonderful team, John, Jeff, Alex, Bernice, Tom, and so many others in the audience tonight. So it was an incredible collaborative effort. So thank you. It's wonderful. John.
I'll just say. And thank you very much to our wonderful Australian Institute of Architects that have orchestrated the entire proceedings, and to the jury too. I should thank our team, led by Jasmine in our wonderful Sydney studio. It's a great pleasure I have to come and spend the time I do in this studio and see the emergence of a team that have come together in a relatively short period of time and worked so cohesively. And with such a strong link back to the support team, Jeff and Alex up the back here in our other regional studio in regional Victoria that's also been deeply involved in this project. It is wonderful to advance the sense of purpose and life to something that already exists, and this project allowed us that opportunity. So thank you.
Now we have the penultimate award this evening, which will be the New South Wales Premier's Prize, awarded by the New South Wales Premier, the Honourable Chris Minns, from a short list of projects selected by the New South Wales Government architects, which are of benefit to the people of our state. Representing the New South Wales Premier tonight is the Honourable Paul Scully, Minister for Planning and Public Spaces, who I will invite to come up to the stage as we hear a few words from the Premier via video.
G'day everyone, New South Wales Premier Chris Minns here. I want to send my best wishes to everyone at the Australian Institute of Architects Awards tonight. As Premier, one of my highest priorities is dealing with the housing crisis in the state. We want to see more homes being built in New South Wales, and we want those homes to be functional to live in and also beautiful to look at. That's why we've invited architects such as yourselves to help us develop our landmark pattern book housing options. I want to say congratulations for tonight's finalists. It's a wonderful achievement and you should be very proud. You're doing the critical work that the state needs, and I hope everybody has a great night.
Well, there goes part of my speech. As I begin, I'd like to acknowledge the traditional owners of the land in which we meet and pay my respects to elders past and present. Lord Mayor, it's good to see you again, my parliamentary colleagues, Scott Fallow, Jane, Adam, and of course, Lisa King, who along with Abby Galvin perhaps have an unenviable task of trying to teach this planning minister a bit more about architecture. I don't know how I'm going as a student. I'll let them reflect on that later. But could I also thank the finalists in the Colorbond category? My community is very proud of the steel it produces, and you've made it look incredibly good in the finalists there. It's a pleasure to be here tonight to present the New South Wales Premier's Prize. It's a chance to recognise and celebrate innovation and creativity in New South Wales architects and construction sector are capable of. As you know, the shortlist was chosen by Abby Galvin, the government architect, but I think also in some of the other categories we've found some new entrants to our good design website categories, Abby. This is the winning project of the Premier's Award this year exemplifies the commitment to excellence, innovation and the development of a better future for the people of New South Wales. In selecting this year's winner, the Premier also paid special consideration to the contribution made by projects delivering on the government's commitment of increasing the supply of affordable homes. So, I'm absolutely thrilled to announce that the winner of the Premier's Prize for 2024 is awarded to Nightingale Marrickville by SJB.
Nightingale Marrickville provides well-located and affordable rental housing that demonstrates how architecture can respond to increased density. The project unfolds over a mid-rise apartment building, where well-designed, tightly planned living units are complemented by generous communal spaces and outdoor landscaped areas. Ambitious initiatives to reduce embodied and operational energy deeply integrate sustainability into the build-to-rent model, while also highlighting possibilities for affordable alternatives for communal living.
Wow, what an honour. I'd just like to thank the Premier and Mr. Scully, thank you so much. This is a very special project to the whole office. We've worked on it for a long time and it wouldn't have happened without the foresight of our fantastic client, Fresh Hope Communities, the inspiration from Nightingale Housing and the fabulous builders, CD Construction and Icon Project Management. The team at SJB, I feel, brought all their love and care to this project because it meant so much to us. It's not very often that we get to actually connect with the end users, and we all put as much warmth into a building that used a lot of raw materials. So I feel like we brought a bit of a Melbourne aesthetic that was a bit shocking to shiny Sydney. And so it was hard for the builders to use AFS as a finished wall, and we all looked at it and we thought, it's a little bit rough. And then Nightingale said, we love it. And then what was most important for us all was we thought we had to bring warm colours, but by our fabulous interior team. We thought we needed green tiles and some real brightness to what is essentially a concrete building. And then the residents moved in and they brought all the warmth that we needed, and they keep giving. A big shout out to the building managers who they help this community, and it's the communities that we project nice spaces for. And if it wasn't for these building managers who are bringing together essentially really good housemates and making this project really successful. So we hope we can do multiple housing like this. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Minister Scully, and congratulations to SJB and Nightingale teams. This brings us to the final award for the night, the announcement of the New South Wales Architecture Medallion. And I was hoping for this big moment we could have, a drum kit up here and do a bit of a drum roll, but they told me budget cuts. So the most prestigious accolade awarded by the state chapter, the New South Wales Architecture Medallion, is selected by the jury chairs from the field of named award winners from across all the categories. So to say a few words and to present this award, I'd like to invite to the stage the 2024 Chair of the Jury, Tim Horton.
Thank you, Dana, and thank you all for coming. Thank you to Minister and to the Lord Mayor, to dignitaries that we have. We know what Sydney's like. We know what your diaries are like. It's very important for you to be here. Minister, it sounds like it's really important for you to be here, but thank you very much. Thank you also to a room with past gold medalists, our most freshly minted Philip Thallis, but there are a number of you in the room. Thank you for coming. And can we just pause momentarily to say thank you, Dana, for being a fantastic host so far. I also want to thank Peter Fry, and I'll do that shortly, and I was thinking of doing the joke about Peter, I'm thirsty, but there's only one glass, and just stay where you are. I think what we have seen is a great return to in-person events, and it's lovely to be able to do that. There's an aspect of that we see in the awards as well, which is a real return, a growth in what it is that architects are involved in. This is the highest number of entries that have ever been received by the chapter, around 250. And the shortlisting process itself was an exercise. 126 projects were shortlisted. Almost a quarter of those were in regional New South Wales. They were visited by 33 jurors who are with us tonight. It's an enormous effort. The role of the chair of chairs is effectively not more than third umpire in the event that there are appeals to be considered. Adam Haddo started by saying that he doesn't know the awards beforehand because they wouldn't trust him. They certainly didn't trust me, and I don't know neither. One thing we do see in the awards, and it's been touched on, is a huge push for the public interest to be furthered in the work of architects. We see it in the projects to deliver infrastructure works for local councils and for state government. Ultimately, that is for the communities that enjoy those, but they reach beyond the boundaries of those communities. The Parramatta Pool, we see it in the schools and in the transport infrastructure as well, but we also see it in those porous boundaries that are able to be mediated by you between public and private interest. We take Nightingale as an interesting example, and just where that private and public interest starts and stops is a choice, and it's a choice that is so often made by those in the room and in the exemplary projects that we see. We see the public interest furthered in those decisions made around materials that are used, in resources that are chosen not to be extracted, in the life of buildings that are given a second go, that are adaptively reused, often, so often, for a public purpose as well. We see the public interest furthered time and time again. We see it in the quality and the craft and the care, the deliberacy, the intent of the work that is done, not only by, and so many have said, not only by you as architects and the teams that you bring, but also by the builders and the contractors and the trades and the many hands that make that possible. It is part of a construction supply chain that brings innovation through opportunity for making in local communities to enrich those local communities. It is something that really does encompass the whole of a New South Wales economy. We see the public interest also, I think, in the projects considered for the New South Wales Architecture Medallion. I think at this point, do I move straight to the winner? This is the bit that Peter Fry and I didn't actually rehearse. I can't, do I? It is my incredible honour to announce that because of the deliberation of the jury chairs, that the winner of the New South Wales Architecture Medallion is the North Head viewing platform.
The two new viewing platforms at North Head provide a vehicle to share stories of Corangle, a place that has always been an important ceremonial ground for local peoples. At its core, this project is about fostering relationships with country that are reciprocal and respectful. It involves engaging with Indigenous knowledge and recognises that country is not merely a backdrop for human activities, but a living entity with its own agency and significance. Both the southmost platform, Barragoola, the time of sunset, and the northern viewing platform, Yaningma, a cliff edge, understands its responsibilities to engage meaningfully, creating poetic, generous ways to share stories and opportunities for learning and create a truly meaningful connection with country.
Well, that's a big shock. What can I say? We're extremely privileged and honoured to have received this award. We never expected anything like this. As I said, it's a special project. We took lots of pride in working together on such a special location and learning a lot about what it means to work in such a sensitive site. Thanks to our client, National Parks, Wildlife Service, Bangawarra, our co-design team. I don't know, Luke, do you want to say anything? I'm speechless, I'm lost for words. Thank you very much to the jury, to the chair of juries, to Tim. Yeah, thank you. Thanks to the Institute. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, Tim. Congratulations to Croffy, Bangawarra and National Park and Wildlife Services. We made it! That was heaps of fun, wasn't it? I know. As we bring our announcements to a close, congratulations again to all the shortlisted projects, the commendations and the winners, and of course to all the clients who commissioned the work that we have celebrated this evening. I'd like to take this opportunity to once again thank the corporate partners for their ongoing support of the Institute and the awards program. Thank you to Alspec, Architectural Window Systems, Autodesk, Bondor, BlueScope and Colorbond, Brickworks, Dulux, Kraus Bricks, Lysart, Modex and Number One Roofing and Building Supplies. Please also stop by the Allegiant photo booth this evening, which you'll find on the ground floor. You just have to look for the red carpet. I have also received a very important word that there will be an after party taking place tonight. I'd love to see Architects Gone Wild. So if you are keen to keep the party going, head to Jackson's on George. There will be a DJ taking over the new bistro level, especially for the awards guests, from 10:30 p.m. till 2 a.m. Seriously? Okay, I'd like to see that on the dance floor. As a final piece of housekeeping, I'd like to remind the teams who won commendations tonight to stop by the box office to collect their awards on the ground floor. Finally, I hope you can join us for a drink after the awards, and I might even catch some of you on the dance floor. It's been an absolute pleasure to be your host tonight. I don't care what they say about you architects, you're actually all right, you know? Have a great evening.
The 2024 New South Wales Architecture Awards are proudly supported by the Australian Institute of Architects National Corporate Partners, Allspec, Bondor Techno, BlueScope, Brickworks, Dulux, Fielders Lysart, Modex, Architecture Media, Planned Cover, and Image Makers Association, as well as New South Wales chapter partners Autodesk, AWS Architectural Window Systems, Kraus Bricks, Number One Roofing and Building Supplies.